Hey everyone, my name is Her Outlets, and you are listening to Egypt's Introspective Podcast. I'm back and I'm better. Not like for real, I am better because anyone who in college right now know that like last week was midterm week, and that was a whirlwind. At least for the school I go to, it was like midterms last week. And I hope y'all pass y'all midterms, y'all. Come on, don't be out here failing miserably or at all. Like, I'm rooting for y'all, whoever listening to this. Whatever exams, quizzes, or whatever y'all had, hope y'all passed it. So I needed more time for myself before I was able to make another episode between the studying going on, stressing, extra anxieties, and all that other personal stuff. You know, I chose self-care over the episode, y'all. But other than that, there's no need to over-explain myself, you know. I'm back. That's what matters. So welcome to episode 4. Well, we are diving into religion. Yes, I said it. I said religion. If you're comfortable with religion, thank you for sticking around. Thank you for listening. Hope you tuning in. And if you listening and you not comfortable with religion, because I know religion could be a touchy topic for some or whatever, you know, you could respectfully go on about your day, you know. We here to be respectful. We here to learn. We here to laugh, love, whatever. So I'm going to be talking about my religion, specifically, which is Islam, and my insights and experiences on growing up as a black Muslim female and things like that. And for those who really know me or have met me, and if I told you once, I'm going to just tell you again, so allow me to reintroduce myself. My name is Rabia, spelled specifically Rabiya, and I'm going to say it again, Rabia. 3 syllables, guys, because I know I grew up with a lot of people mispronouncing my name. 3 syllables is not hard to sound out. I don't know. No judgment. It gets aggravating, but it's whatever. Just correct them. Go on about your day. Rabia. And Rabia is an Islamic name. For those of you who I've told, or if you don't know, quick learning session. It's an Islamic name that translates to a garden of flowers, bed of flowers, and also royalty status, queen or princess. It translates to all of that, which in fact I am. As well as my middle name, it goes together, Rabia Medina, which is spelled Medina. And Medina is a predominantly Islamic Muslim country, is a real country in the Middle East that's called Medina. And I'm a Muslim who was born into this peaceful, as well as it is beautiful, religion of Islam. So I'm going to continue the little education session real quick about Islam, the word Islam, and the religion itself, what it means. So, as I said, Islam literally translates to the word peace, y'all. And I know y'all know what peace means. I hope anyone listening to this has ever had some sort of peace in their lives. True peace, you know. So yeah, Islam means peace. Although the media opposes, y'all know how that be. They don't know what peace is, y'all. But we ain't here to talk about that. So, and I want y'all to think to yourselves, what does, not even talking about just Islam itself, but what, since Islam means peace, I want y'all to think about real quick, what does peace mean to y'all? What peace means to me is serenity. Just alone time. Peace can be in another person. Peace can be, well, I would hope peace would be in yourself, you know. peace is everything. When I think of peace, I think of being, it don't even have to be a beach, y'all, but I can't help it. I think of like an island, a beach, just by yourself, whether you walking on it or laying on the hot sand and stuff under the sun. Yeah, I'm giving y'all a little visual right now. Just peace, and whatever you thought of in your mind right now, just let that sit real quick. So, Islam is also a religion of Muslims. That's what we call ourselves, Muslims. I know y'all know that the women cover with hijab, which translates to veil in English. Hijab is an Arabic word for the veil that us Muslim women are, yes, supposed to follow and wear for the purpose of God. And God in Arabic means Allah. So I will be saying Allah throughout the podcast. So keep that in mind, y'all. And Muslims believe in the last prophet being Prophet Muhammad. And obviously we believe there's only one God, because there's religions who believe in multiple gods. And we believe in the last day that will be coming, which is the Day of Judgment. Judgment Day, some call it Day of Judgment, Judgment Day. And we do believe there is a paradise, which translates to Jannah in Arabic. And we do believe that we don't believe in reincarnation. We just believe when you die until everybody, until Judgment Day comes, and then everybody rises up, and those who are living, they die too, and then that's when everybody goes to get judged by Allah himself. And everybody has a book of bad deeds, everybody has a book of good deeds. And if one outweighs the other, you know where you're going. If the good deeds outweigh the bad deeds, then you know where you're going. The bad deeds outweigh the good deeds. Unfortunately, you know where you're going. And we do believe in hell and heaven, as I've mentioned before. So that was just a brief rundown. So while y'all got all of that analyzed in y'all heads real quick, just think of that. And I'm going to read this brief story. Well, it's not so brief, but, a story. And I called it Medina's Story. And I wrote this back in 2018. I was 18 years old when I wrote this. And I was just in my room, and I decided to write this. So this is my story. From birth up to age 18, freshman in college, trying to get the most out of friends, out of myself, family, and just out of life itself. I grew up having almost experienced 2 different religions. Next, my mother's side, growing up Muslim. My father's side, growing up experiencing what being in church was like. I was mostly exposed and born into Islam, a way of living life as a Muslim, God says and teaches us. When I would spend the night with my grandmother often, that following Sunday, I would have to tag along with her, hijab on and all, to church. And I put in parentheses, y'all, awkward type situation, because could you imagine being of another religion, entering a temple or something, or a church or a mosque, and, it's a whole group of other people who believe in a whole different thing, and you getting stared at and all of that. So back to the story. I thought church was so boring. So I dreaded being there, but was only there to really enjoy the music playing. I loved music. That piqued my interest. Experiencing both religions on both sides, I was more than likely too young to understand the commands and word of God and things like that. So as I grew older, my frequent visits and overnight stays with my grandma ceased. Why? Things change as much as seasons do. From that shift, I soaked myself more into Islam and learned what it meant to be Muslim, how to act. Soon after, and during those times of my teachings from my mother, my insecurities appeared out of nowhere. I know what you're probably thinking. How can a girl as cheery and full of vibrancy like her feel this way? Well, you'll be surprised with how most people like that go through. What's on the display can be deceiving to the eye. And that's the truth. My insecurities grew stronger, teaming up with my negative thoughts, causing a mind full of destruction and sadness. It all began in first grade. I'd always walk past my mother's room, watching her place her hijab, or khimar, headscarf, on her head, draping or wrapping it ever so beautifully. My little eyes were amazed, and my mind was drowned in curiosity. Curiosity. What seems to take over most small kids' minds to cause them to experiment and try for themselves. This can be good, or it can get messy. Curiosity. That one word that suddenly threatened my word vomit to spill out. Mommy, can I wear that? Yeah, come here, so I can wrap it on you. That part right there. Those exact words and that question as one part of me filling up with regret. The other part of me today is feeling sudden gratitude for all of my past experiences, good and bad. My regret stems from me not wanting to wear it because I knew what wearing it represented me as, of this, or the symbolism of it, because I didn't know before. I was only 7 or 8 years old at the time, or 6 or 7. My regret is from being curious and just wanting to wear it, possibly because I wanted to look as close to my mother as I could. Maybe because somehow, subconsciously, I knew it was the right thing to do. But I didn't realize it looking back. Maybe, possibly, it could be both. Short story. That same day when I arrived at my school, I got stares. I didn't like stares. Suddenly, 2 sets of specific eyes of girls I recognized from kindergarten walked over to me and tried so hard to pull my scarf off my head. They tugged and tugged on the back of it as I held onto the top of my head to prevent the pin popping off with the scarf. Successfully, I kept them from pulling it off. Although they were used to me wearing my hair out during my earlier days, that didn't give them the right to touch any part of me like that. Messed up, right? But true. Of course, it didn't end there. People kept trying to pull it off my head or pick on me for it. Growing up, I began to think I was ugly while wearing it. Why didn't my mother just say no to my question? Why couldn't she just say, "You're too young to be wearing it now"? Why? Looking back on the experiences and questions that filled my head, I've come to realize that everything happens for a reason, whether you wished it happened or didn't happen. My insecurity tagged along with me in high school. Although no one attempted to pull it off this time, I was still looked at as different. The taunting continued, but that didn't matter to me. I was too deep in my feelings, drowning in my insecurities. My feelings of gratitude stemmed from being that female that stood out. Not from the color of her skin, but from what she simply wore on top of her head. I was that neon highlight. I stood out. I was one of the outcasts because of a piece of cloth. I found out that I love being different. Not only was wearing my scarves different, but my warm and bubbly personality that makes me different. I take that with me wherever I go. Today, even though you don't see me wearing it, Islam is and will always be a part of me, a part of who I am. I believe not wearing the hijab doesn't make me any less of a Muslim today. I stopped wearing it the day after my prom. Yes, some insecurities died and some are still alive. Some are trying to fade away now, but I'm growing. I'm praying and talking to God. My main purpose was to start off fresh and to wear it with all of the knowledge that I lacked at age 7 or 8. I don't want to wear it one day because of curiosity, but because I would have the full confidence in wearing it. With that being said, I am not my hair, but the soul that lives within. This is my story. Insert applause here because I just read that story with so much feeling and passion, but that feeling and passion is real, y'all. And so now you know all of my feelings, my thoughts that comes with that, and some of my insecurities, why I started wearing hijab, why I took it off. And for any Muslim sisters or brothers that's listening to this, please don't judge. You know, it's already a lot of judgment within the Islamic community of brothers and sisters, and I see it all the time on social media and in real life, and it's just not good. Like, you know, just like Tupac said, only God could judge me, and he was right. And them words still relevant to this day. So only God could judge me. And so yeah, when I was younger, as I said in the story, then like I wore it because I was simply just wanting to look like my mother. Because I didn't have, obviously, I was 6, 7, 8 years old, guys. I didn't have no knowledge of, just like anyone of that age, no one of that age will have knowledge of what their religion is really all about if they grew up with one or was born into one. So I always admired the scarves that my mother draped over herself and stuff, the hijabs and all of that, the colors. So I was like, you know, I was a very curious child. So I wanted to be like her and stuff, but little did I know what it truly represents, you know. The hijab represents strength. The hijab represents modesty, and it's mysterious as well. Like, it's a veil for a reason, you know. We wear it for a reason. We wear it for God. And in the Quran it says to be recognized and not molested. And I want y'all to think again, reflect real quick while I'm saying this. What does wearing the hijab to be recognized and not molested mean to you? Well, to me it means, and when the part where God says molested, not literally molested, but molested as in, because you know all types of men be having bad intentions with women these days. And I know we live in a day and age where men don't care if you covered from head to toe, because I experienced it. You know, I'm sure all women at this point experience whatever bad experiences with men. So to, you know, not have, you know, hijab is a source of protection. It's a form of protection from outsiders. So 9 times out of 10, they're going to know, like, oh, well, let me watch out for this sister because she covered, and, you know, I know about, most people know or recognize Muslims, so I know about, you know, her religion. Let me not try to get involved with that. So it's more protection as opposed to when you not covering. And modesty is a beautiful thing, y'all. We live in a world where taking your clothes off and shaking your butt, twerking or whatever is like, it's just the thing to do, you know, and modesty is placed on the back burner, and it's not really up on the scale like being naked is, or just wearing revealing clothes is, showing your breast, butt, or whatever. And it's just, that's mind-blowing to me. That's crazy. And I do plan on, and this can be an emotional topic for me, guys, because Islam is in my heart, you know. I've had my own ups and downs with it, mostly from, you know, having stopped covering for some years. And one day I do plan to cover again. It's just I'm not at a time or the mindset where I can find myself wearing it right now. And sometimes I think, and we, reminder, we all about vulnerability. Sometimes I think God is, or I've had thoughts like, God is upset at me, God don't really care, but he's just upset at me. And now I've come to the thought that, how can God be upset with you? This is a between me and Allah thing, not for outsiders if I don't want them to know about it. But it's like thinking, how can God be upset with me when he knows my intentions? Only God knows your true intentions. And God knows what's going to happen before you even blink. Like, God, he knows what's going to happen in the next 5 seconds, 5 minutes, an hour. So, yeah, it's just like, there's no way God, and we got to remember sometimes, God ain't human. He don't have emotions like we do. God knows. And that's a huge part of why I love him. And I know God loves me too. Covering or not. But I know that is a command, and I do plan to cover again. So I also wanted to picnic at part of the story I read where I talked about my insecurities. Which was, I already had insecurities I mentioned in there while wearing hijab, which was thinking I was unattractive with it, or comparing myself to girls around school that wasn't covering, and wanting to wear my hair out and have the looks everybody was having, with the hair and all of that, straight and perm and all of that. I wanted all of that, y'all. So, and that's normal to want that, because, I know covered or uncovered, I know I'm a pretty girl. I know I'm beautiful on the outside, as well as I already know I am on the inside. It's just, it's normal to have those desires, but don't let it overtake you. But little did I know then, I wasn't, like I said in the story, I wasn't finding, or I didn't know the true meaning of wearing hijab then. So I thought it was just me wearing it to wear it. I knew, it's like I knew the reason, like, yeah, I'm wearing this for God and stuff and all of that. But I didn't feel myself in it, guys. I didn't feel like myself in it. I felt like almost two different people when I would return home, take it off around loved ones. And opposed to when I would put it on every morning to go to school. And it's like the insecurities used to worsen. I used to allow the insecurities to worsen themselves, grow bigger in my mind, when other disrespectful kids would inflict an act upon me that would, it's kind of traumatizing, it's kind of traumatizing that they used to, like, imagine yourself, if you a male, imagine yourself being a female, right? Just briefly, right? And if you're a female that's not Muslim, imagine yourself having, a religion. You believe in something, obviously. And you grew up wearing hijab, or you start wearing hijab whenever. And you walk into a place where you already looked at as different, right? Picture yourself in somebody's shoes. Picture yourself in my shoes. You enter a place where you already perceived as different, and you know that for a fact. And, you get stares every now and then. You get ignorant questions about, do you take a shower in that? Or do you go to sleep in that? Or whatever. Do you wear that in the house all the time? And stuff like that. And then, you start getting people taking it to the next level, pulling it off your head with their own hands, without a thought, right? And you just sitting there when it happens. In the moment that it happens, you just sitting there, feeling humiliated and kind of traumatized. And people just laughing at you. And I'm saying this because I'm remembering the memories that I remember to this day. So how would you, and think about this, how would you personally feel if you were in that place, in that position growing up? And you already had those certain insecurities, right? Because you knew you were looked at as different. And then on top of that, they do that to you. And it doesn't only happen once. It happens a few more times after that. With the school really doing nothing about it at that. So, yeah, imagine that, y'all. So, yeah. And I also wanted to mention a case, right? I think her name is Ibtihaj Muhammad. I think she's a popular Olympian or something like that. She's American. She's black, and she's Muslim. American black Muslim woman. I think her name is Ibtihaj Muhammad, as I said. Yeah, and she's a fencer, I think. I don't know if y'all know what that thing is when they have them long sword-like things and they fight with each other or whatever. So, it's a post, and I'm going to read it. And Sister Ibtihaj said, yesterday, Tamar Herman, a teacher at Seth Boyden Elementary in Maplewood, New Jersey, forcibly removed the hijab of a second grade student. The young student resisted by trying to hold onto her hijab, but the teacher pulled the hijab off, exposing her hair to the class. Herman told the student that her hair was beautiful and she did not have to wear the hijab to school anymore. Imagine being a child and stripped of your clothing in front of your classmates. Imagine the humiliation and trauma this experience has caused her. This is abuse. School should be a haven for all of our kids to feel safe, welcome, and protected, no matter their faith. We cannot move toward a post-racial America until we weed out the racism and bigotry that still exist in all layers of our society by protecting Muslim girls who wear hijab. We are protecting the rights of all of us to have a choice in the way we dress. Writing books and posting on social is not enough. We must stand together and vehemently denounce discrimination in all of its forms. And then at the end, she was providing information of the school and the number and the emails. So when I seen this going around Instagram, I was like, here we go with another case, because it's been plenty of cases besides my own with these Muslim kids in America getting their hijab snatched off their head, and especially by a teacher. Like, that's crazy. Like, that's beyond me. A teacher doing it, that's next level. That's twice the amount of disrespect to me than when a student is doing it. I mean, it's all the same amount, but like, I wouldn't expect a grown teacher to be doing something like that. And yes, I do pray that that teacher went down for that, and I pray that she's not at that school no more, or maybe the child was removed from the school. But I pray that that child, or whoever the parent of that child is, instills in her that she's still beautiful. She's still beautiful, whether she covering or not, and she's beautiful while she's covered. And the hijab, teach her the true meaning of the hijab, and the hijab means something. The more than just wearing a piece of cloth on your head. It's more than just a cloth, and what it truly represents. I pray for this child. So that's crazy. So I hope you guys enjoyed this episode today, and I hope I gave you all new insight. And me being Muslim is it's instilled in me, but it's also a whole other side of me that I rarely ever get to tell people. And I hope you enjoyed reflecting on this, and I hope you share this with others. I will be sharing this episode on Instagram, and maybe a clip of it on Instagram, YouTube. It will be up on Spotify. Again, y'all, I'm gonna try to get my my podcast on the other platform, Apple Music, Apple Podcasts, or whatever it's called. I'm not an iOS user, y'all. I'm an Android user. I don't know much about Apple. So, yeah. But I'm going to work that out. So, stay tuned for the next episode, y'all. And thank you. Share this with others. Support Black artists like me. Support Black podcasters. Support Black poets. So, see y'all next time.